everyone. Hope you're doing well. I am certainly excited to once again have the opportunity to initiate another week with exciting topics that can help us take our business to the next level. My name is Mauricio Garcia, and as always, to do this podcast and to bring in real experience that have delivered real results, I'm joined by my friend, mentor, and partner in business, Mr. Hubert Humphrey. Hubert, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing great. Good to be here for another great week with all the great entrepreneurs out there.
Awesome. Well, listen, I know this podcast is really to deliver the maximum amount of value to the entrepreneurs that tune in every single day to listen to us. But I had the opportunity to be in Atlanta at your headquarters over at the Hegemon Group International and had the opportunity to speak to some of the great leaders in the company that are making millions of dollars every single year. And I asked them, what are some of those principles? What are those things that have really enabled you to be able to go, from being an engineer making $190,000 a year to now making $1.5 million a year? And he said, one of the things of the system here is exchange principles. And I know it's probably one of the very internal secrets in the company, right, of the system. But I think it's good that people out there know what makes HGI, as an example, unique, and how they have to maybe see things when they're trying to grow it at dimensions like the companies you've built in the past. I don't know if there's something that you'd consider good to speak to the audience today about.
Oh, sure. Well, the exchange principles basically are real key to building not only HGI, but the companies that we built previously, the big A.L. Williams company, which is now Primerica Financial, and the big World Financial Group, which was World Marketing Alliance. We built those companies too. All those companies were built on using these exchange principles, and we've perfected them more than ever now in our new company here. Some of the other companies have kind of watered them down a little bit, but they're still in place and very critical to their success. In fact, there's more than four, but there's four main exchange principles that I think will get the point over. Mm-hmm. And I actually call it the nobility of the exchange.
Nobility as the exchange.
To meaning that if you don't do the exchange program, you can still run a system and you can still go forward. You're just not maxing it out. You're not going to ascend to the great heights of success that you really want to do unless you've learned and mastered the full exchange principles. And there's four of them. And we'll just talk about four of them here today very briefly. One is the personal sale exchange. We call it internal consumption. That means everything basically starts out there that in the traditional agency world out there, and where maybe the agency where you came out of, most agents, if they wanted life insurance, they'd end up, one of the first things they'd do, they'd sell themselves a policy so they can get enough commissions to keep going out there. Yeah. Well, here in our business, we want everybody to be a client. Every one of our associates, every one of our entrepreneurs that join with us, we want them to also be a client too, based upon whatever their financial analysis needs are, whatever their personal needs and whatever they can afford. We want them to become a client too. But into doing so, they buy their personal sale from their upline. At least the main first sale. It sort of creates the economy of the system, the whole currency of the system. And so if I recruited you, Mauricio, today, somewhere in the next week or two, we will have done a needs analysis. We call it our 6 steps and 8 filters. In our filter number 7, it talks about the internal consumption exchange. So somewhere along in there, we will have done a needs analysis for you. And some of the best training you'll have about products and concepts and the sales process is having gone through that on your own personal case, letting some licensed trainer take care of your own personal needs. So internal consumption, you buy it from the person that recruited you. Just stop and think about it. If I was a guy trying to recruit you into HGI, and I wanted to make that sale, and we didn't have the exchange program, I'd probably, under the old rules of insurance, I'd probably not need to recruit you. I just go out there and make a sale to you, and maybe one of these days I'd talk about recruiting you, but I'd already got the sale. Here we don't have to think that way. We get to do the higher law is to go out and recruit you and give you a great opportunity, but we don't give up the right for you to be our client. You are a recruit/client to us, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's the number one thing is to, and here's the deal. Here's where the word exchange comes in. You are exchanging the sale, the commission that you would make on your own personal sale, for the right that when you're recruiting and building a team, you're going to be able to make the commissions on all the people. So, for example, if you recruited 10 people and they all bought from you, you're giving up one sale on yourself to get 10 sales. That's a pretty powerful exchange, and for whatever it is. And then you go multiply that down through the organization. It's going to cause all of your overrides and all to be more substantial because your downlines are modeling after you. So that's the first thing is the personal sale exchange, and the second one is I call a field training exchange.
Can I stop you there? I have a few
Sure.
questions on that personal sales exchange just to elaborate and understand the psychology a little bit more. So basically, is that if by not doing that you do not have the moral authority now to request or to even expect that people that you recruit would want to give you their sale, right? Because you didn't do it on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's right. And first of all, it's the company's guidelines, and this is the way we want it done. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you're in the copy in the duplication business, you need to make sure the master copy is duplicatable, it's worth duplicating, and it's duplicating in the right way, and gives you that moral authority. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in the traditional space, you said it earlier, and I don't mean to repeat, but it is important to explain that it's true. If you get licensed as financial professional insurance agents in the traditional world, most people just sell themselves, but then they go out and their clients don't sell themselves. You sell to your clients, right? And so here is, because you're thinking about building an agency, you're thinking about building a distribution channel, the number one thing is to recruit the talent, to bring the people in. And so they, not because you recruit them, they stop to become a client. They are a client and a recruit, like you said. So you give away a sale, your personal sale, to in return get infinite, not just 10, but infinite number of sales. And you have okay. That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm.
Right. To me, if I'll give up $1 and you're going to give me $100, I think that's a pretty good deal.
Or infinite, right?
Exchange.
Yeah, exactly.
Any amount. Amount. Most people don't understand infinite, but that's the key. The second exchange is the field training exchange. That means that we want to make sure that, for a lot of reasons, we want to make sure when new people come on board with us, that they're going to be able to have as much experience seeing how sales are made, how our concepts are delivered, solutions are delivered to the consumer. And so one is that they don't just need to have some book learning. They need to have some in the field, going out and taking people to clients on their prospect list and witnessing some licensed, trained person making the presentations, making the sales before they're licensed, and speed. The whole key here is speed. Instead of waiting around for a person to get licensed and then go try to train them, what about all that time that they're sitting there for 1 or 2 or 3 months, whatever it takes to get licensed in different states? Let's take that dead time and be able to help them recruit. Takes no licenses to sell a dream. Takes no licenses to recruit. So, and to me, Mauricio, if you're a new person and we're going to get you into business, and eventually you're going to get licensed, would you want to have a license that's just limited to only when you can make a sale, or would you like to have a license that would allow you to override the efforts of a lot of other people who are licensed?
Now that I understand overrides, absolutely overrides.
Right. Well, that's what this thing begins. The field training program helps you get the training knowledge that's sort of required in the industry and expected in the industry, but it also is a part of the economy of the system. It's speed. Everything is collapsed. To me, some of the most precious time in our business, in our model, is from the time we recruit a person until the time they get licensed. That's not dead time in our business. In our business, that's time for having them to identify their prospects. Let's go out and make presentations, get them to meetings, start, like you said, recruiting and starting building them an agency or a distribution channel, and recruiting those people. And we're helping them do all that. But at the same time, each one of those people are going to become clients, and then their people are going to become clients. So you got a lot of field training sales that are going on. You got internal consumption sales going on, field training sales, because we're requiring basically a new person, when they come on board, they've got to go through our training program and have sort of a scholarship program. They've got to complete at least three good field training sales with an upline leader who's licensed and trained before they get to move into full production as a licensed associate. So it's a part of our training program, but it also is a very productive part of our team building, our system building method. And so you're exchanging. What I'm saying, you're exchanging. Now you've got there's three prospects on your list that somebody else is going to go make a sale to. Now at some point you're going to be able to receive some type of a licensing and training reallowance thing, a flat fee. You can never make a commission for a sale that was made before license. You can't participate in a sale before you're licensed, but you can be able to be given back some allowance, some flat fee allowance that we give across the board for all the materials and the gasoline and the sign-up fees and the training courses and the events, and you spend some money to get yourself going, and so there is an allowance for you once you get licensed, assuming you've been through all the steps. And part of it is you've completed all these training sales. So it creates the economy of the system. You're exchanging three field training sales so that as you're recruiting 2 people, 5 people through infinity, as all these new recruits are coming into your hierarchy at all levels, they're going to be expected to do 3 sales, and that's creating production that you'll be overriding. So that's another great exchange principle.
Yeah,
Any comments on that?
Yeah. And obviously, the likelihood of the success of a new recruit is much higher because they're in activity, they're excited, they can see things that are possible, they're being trained, and then they're getting the biggest payment of all is probably the training. They can never take that away.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Well, you're giving.
I know one. Yeah. I know one thing. The number one thing that we should be doing when we're so-called selling a dream to somebody is doing possibility projections. To me, when you show people possibilities, that's selling the dream. If you recruited me and you're showing me it's possible, say, Hubert, it's possible to do this. It's possible for this. It's possible that if this happens and this happens and this happens, you could make this much money possibly. Well, possibilities is what stimulates your mind. It's what causes the curiosity and the interest and the desire. You start to see. You can see yourself in the picture when they show you possibilities, and you start looking at possibilities. If I recruit this many people, and they're all going to be buying the product from their upline, and they're going to be going through field training sales, man, that equals this. It's possible for me to make this much money at such and such a time. So it really builds toward the possibility thinking. The third exchange, besides the first 2, which was the personal sale exchange, and then the field training exchange, the third one is the promotion qualification exchange. And that's just simple. Whatever our guidelines are to go from brand new recruit to a training associate all the way up to our highest level, we got all these different levels up through RMD, which is our building block agency level. And then as you start to produce your equal of a lot of RMDs, we got that. And then as you build up these various other levels with the other overrides and incentives, you're going to have a submission to that promotion system, and you're going to go through the qualifications, not expect some gimme promotion because you're some big shot. You're going to go through those requirements, and by you going through the qualifications, you can now exchange that for expecting everybody else that's going to move up the ladder to go through those promotion requirements, which is production. It's recruits and production. And you're going to override that. It comes back to override. Overrides are only as valuable as what they're overriding, or as what the percentage is multiplied against. And these exchange principles ensure that you have continuous and substantial production to override as you're building your team. And it's the fastest way to construct organizations. And hey, this whole business is a race for outlets. It's a race for market share. And you don't win races by going slow. And that's one reason why A.L. Williams, now Primerica, WMA, which is now World Financial Group, Transamerica, and HDI, all these companies we built, one reason why they grew so big, so fast, and became such dominant companies in the industry out there is that we knew we were in a race, and we had a much faster car. We had a much faster system than they did. We were working by multiplication while they were working by addition.
Mm-hmm.
We even for several of us, we even had geometric progression going, and so. This magic of compound interest, and we harness not only on the sales side, we taught clients how to harness the power of compound interest, but also on the recruiting side, we harness the power of geometric progression. That's what our system with these exchange principles allow you to do. And the fourth one is what we call the builder's exchange principle, and that's a very powerful building tool. In that Mauricio, if I recruited you and you're coming up the ladder and you're recruiting people and I'm helping you build them, we're helping you train them, and those guys are moving up, hitting associate and MD up to our RMD level. To get that RMD promotion now, you and I already know, and one of these legs are going to stay in my base shop. You're going to leave one of your legs that I'm going to choose. The upline leader's choosing which one that is going to stay in my base shop. That continues to keeps my base shop going. It keeps the economy of the system for everybody in the chain who's overriding these base shops to not have a depleted base shop. And so here you are now. You're going to exchange that leg. So as you're promoting other RMDs through infinity, they're going to be all taking a leg. So one leg is exchanged for many legs that will affect your economic overrides going forward. And so it's just a builder's exchange. There's two ways to go wide. You can by personally recruiting yourself, you're going wide. You're building frontline width. But by going temporarily in depth in our promotion system and building up leaders and promoting them to RMD and having a builder's exchange, that leg's coming back up to you. So that's the second way of building width. And it was one of the founding blocks of all of our big companies over the years. Was this? It's something that the industry doesn't understand. They don't know how to do. Most agents out there have been trained another way, and they're more. What have you done for me? What's in it for me? What contract level am I going to get? What commission am I going to get? They don't. They not that they're bad people. They just don't have. They don't have the higher law. They live in the lesser law. I'm just telling you, these are the exchange principles that were big in our business, and anybody that wants to go out and have all the great success that we've had with great leaders in the past, they need to copy exactly what the great leaders did, so they'll become the great legends of the future.
There's a lot of podcasts that we've done. There's been a lot of episodes that we've done to this day. And I can tell you that the episode today on these exchange principles is one that everybody who's listening have to go back and maybe listen to it 3, 4, 5 times and study it, not just listen to it. And let me tell you why. As I said, there's people in the HCI community, in the HCI sales force, that have gone from just making a few $100,000 as professional to making some of them $4 or $5 million a year, some $1, $2, $3 million a year, and this is the one thing that they go back to. I mean, at the end, it's the exchange principle. Everything's important, but they go back to understanding these principles, and especially number 4, which is the builder's exchange principle. Mm-hmm. And it is really that important. And I would probably say that if people don't have a system whereby they use these type of principles, these higher laws, well, that ties right into the opportunity that is provided by Hegemon Group International. If you are operating right now on what Hubert calls the lower paradigm or lower laws, and you're not something like this is not incorporated in whatever it is that you're trying to grow, maybe you ought to not just study this, but get closer to the fire here, get closer to Hegemon Group International, learn how to do it, and why not take advantage of doing it in the biggest industry in the world, the one with the most potential, the one that has the highest probability of making you a millionaire if you get involved, which is the HCI opportunity, and doing it in the financial services industry, which, by the way, I want to invite everybody to go check out a presentation. It's a 15-minute explanation of how an opportunity in the financial industry by the hand of Hegemon Group International and with the leadership of Hubert Humphrey can make a huge difference in your life right now. Go to hgiopportunity.com, check out the opportunity. You will thank me later. And I guess, Hubert, with that being said, I think it was a very nice podcast today. I think we can wrap it up there for today. And I want to thank you as always for adding all that value. And man, you really maybe just gave out the most sacred secret here for creating millionaires.
Well, it's out there, but the deal is, if you don't understand the full psychology of it, it won't do them any good. But if they get close enough to the fire, we'll teach them how to do it.
Awesome.
Hey, great being with you. See you next show.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.